Hey y'all, welcome to the Clock Tower. I'm Colton here with Brandon. 5 cards, 5 minutes returns to talk about Quintessential Quintuplets 2. Brandon, what's our first card?
First up, we have this 3-2 Nino. When the standby climax is in your climax zone, this card also gains that standby trigger in all zones. So when you are attacking, you can trigger this card and play standby with it. This is kind of what adds into that 12 standby name. During your turn, if you have two or more other, this gains 4k power, so it sits at 12-5 by itself. Heals on play, and an additional climax combo where it pay one, ditch one. At the end of this card's attack, if you only have two or more other, you can burn for 3. This card, an essential staple for that standby game.
Yeah, I mean, this thing lets you hit standby triggers without actually burying your CXs, which is really nice. And also, pay one, ditch one, burn 3 is good. It's what makes 8 standby quintuplets the most powerful thing in the meta going into the fall season. Next, Eat Ski, Pure White Wish. Your hand limit is increased by 1, so you get to hold 8 cards in hand. It also gives a 500 frontal assist if you have 5 or more in hand, and it is a search brainstorm specifically on salvage triggers. So you're playing this in the 8 salvage build that pluses you a ton of cards to hand and has a massive ditch out cost for its level 3 combo. I don't think we've ever seen this in English Weiss, a hand size limit increase.
Yeah, especially having that hand increase on a card you want on field anyway, it really helps to keep all those resources for that end game. Next up, we have the level 1 Eat Ski that kind of pairs with that Brainstormer. When you use an act ability, this gains an additional 1,500 power, pushing that up to 6k. Climax will put it at 7. When this card attacks, as long as you have the salvage in your climax zone and experience 2, look it up to 3, and add a total up to 3 cards of either characters or the event password into hand and put the rest in waiting room. It's effectively +2 because you discard 1. So you have a little bit of hand filter as well as a +2.
This may be the best plussing combo that we've ever seen at level 1, because not only does it have that filter, not only does it just add cards to hand off the top of deck, potentially, going +2 in every lane, it also can very easily plus on defense as well, because I'm using Act against 1500, which means that if you drop a backup, a 2k backup at 1 pushes this to 8,000 power and the other 2 to 6,000 power. This card can go +3 and honestly will probably go +3 if you drop a backup in at least one lane. Extremely powerful plussing combo, especially given that you get to hold that extra card in hand with the Brainstormer. Next, the Nino 2-2 Standby Target. If all of your characters are quintuplets, it gains 5,000 power on turn as well as hand encore. When this is brought on field by the effect of a specific standby climax, if you have 2 or more characters, you may send that CX to waiting room, stand this, and it gains 1,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. So you can attack with it immediately if you have the right CX down. It swings at massive power. You can pump this up to essentially 17,000, is about as high as it goes, with all of the other power pump pieces in play. It gets small on defense, but you hand encore it. You're just trying to blow up your opponent's board on offense and basically force them to recur it. Ideally, they're not going to be able to do so, and you win the resource battle long term.
13 by itself, when it's brought out that way, on attack is pretty strong, and then 8 defensively that following turn. This is definitely going to help set the thresholds for the standby game. Last up, we have this 3-2 Nino. If this is in your front row, all of your characters gain 1,500 power. When a standby is placed, you can look at the top 2 cards of your library and rearrange them, and then you choose one of your characters, and that character gets the ability that on attack, you can look at the top 2, put 1 in waiting room, and swing. So you're able to kind of choose your trigger in that lane. You essentially could potentially filter up to 4 cards with this 1 card alone.
Can make that level 3 game that much bigger, allows it to swing in at 14, which is a pretty good number. I'm not sure how useful the rearrange ability is on a level 3 standby target. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back on Tuesday. Brandon will have a deck tech, and we'll have gameplay the following Thursday. We'll be back with another Clock Talk. The following Tuesday, we'll be talking about what happened at Rumble. And in 2 weeks, we'll have more 5 cards, 5 minutes, wrapping up quintuplets with uncommons and commons. Until next time, thank you so much for joining us. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and have a good one.